Welcome back to Tales of Thailand. Today's story comes from loyal subscriber Rick, a 54-year-old Canadian widower who came to Thailand looking for companionship after years of grief and loneliness. What he found instead was a woman who took money from him every month, convinced him she was just between jobs, and was secretly doing the same thing to 4 other men. This is Rick's story. My name is Rick. I'm 54 from Canada, and for 5 years after my wife died, I lived in a kind of emotional fog. My kids were grown. My house was too quiet. My life was stable on paper, but inside it felt like I was just going through the motions. I wasn't looking for trouble. I wasn't looking for a wild adventure. I just wanted to feel alive again, and maybe, if I'm honest, to feel wanted. That's how I ended up in Pattaya. I saw a YouTube video about Thailand one night. One of those travel stories that makes everything look warm, colorful, and full of promise. The beaches, the food, the energy, the women, the freedom. It all looked like something completely different from the grey, lonely routine I've been living back in Canada. So I booked a trip. I didn't go there with some big plan. I just wanted a change of scenery. But like a lot of men who arrive in Pattaya alone, I very quickly discovered that a lonely foreigner can get attention there in a way he hasn't felt in years. That was how I met her. She wasn't working in a bar. That was one of the reasons I trusted her. She told me she was a freelancer doing odd jobs, sometimes between work, sometimes helping friends. She seemed independent, not desperate, not the type to play games. She was attractive, yes, but more than that, she was calm. She had a way of talking that made me feel comfortable. She remembered details about me. She asked about my wife, my kids, my life back home. She didn't rush me, didn't pressure me, didn't ask for anything straight away. That mattered to me. After so many years of being alone, I wanted to believe I'd met someone genuine. We started seeing each other regularly when I was in Pattaya. Then when I went back to Canada, we stayed in touch every day. Messages, calls, photos, little updates about her life. She told me work was inconsistent, that money was tight, that she was trying to get herself sorted out. I felt sorry for her, and that's where the trouble began. She never directly asked me for large amounts. That would have been too obvious. Instead, it was always something softer. Can you help me this month? Just until I find more work. I'm embarrassed to ask, but I need rent. Can you send a little for food and phone bills? It started small. 5,000 baht. Then 10. Then more. Eventually, I was sending her around 20,000 baht a month. That may not sound huge to some people, but over time it adds up. And more than the money itself, it was the feeling behind it. I thought I was helping a woman I cared about. I thought I was building a relationship. I thought I was being decent. Every month she said she was still between jobs. Every month I believed her. For a while it felt almost normal. We had our routines. She would call me in the evening. She would tell me she missed me. She would send me voice notes saying she couldn't wait until I came back to Thailand. She talked about a future together, about meeting my children one day, about maybe making life work between Canada and Thailand. I started to picture it. A simple life. Maybe not marriage immediately, but something real. Then one day, I got a message on Facebook from a man I didn't know. He was from Australia. He wrote one sentence that changed everything. I think we're dating the same woman. At first, I thought it was some kind of scam, or a joke, or maybe some weird mistake. But then he sent me screenshots, messages, photos, dates, names, the same woman, the same phone number, the same sweet voice notes, the same excuses about being between jobs. I sat there staring at my screen in complete silence. I replied to him, and he told me he wasn't the only one. There were other men too. He said he knew of at least 4. We compared notes, and the pattern was identical. Each of us thought he was the special one. Each of us thought he was helping her through a difficult time. Each of us had been sending money. She wasn't freelancing, she was running men. Not in the dramatic movie sense. Not with some big criminal organization behind her. Just a careful, quiet, emotional scam. Different men. Same story, same sob story, same monthly payments. I felt sick. When I confronted her over the phone, she didn't deny it properly. At first she laughed, actually laughed. Then she said we had all misunderstood her. She said the other men were just friends. Then she got angry and told me I was crazy for believing some stranger on Facebook. That was the moment I realized I was not speaking to the woman I thought I knew. I was speaking to someone who had been living off trust, attention, and loneliness. I flew back to Pattaya to confront her in person. I wish I could say I did it calmly and with dignity, but the truth is I went there like a man walking into his own humiliation. I had spent months paying for her life while she built a whole second reality around me. When I met her, she looked amused, more than anything else. Not ashamed, not apologetic, amused. She told me very plainly that I had never asked what kind of relationship this was. She said she never promised me exclusivity. She said I should not have assumed. She said I was old enough to know better. That hurt more than the money, because it wasn't just that she had taken 200,000 baht from me overall. It was the way she said it, like I was some stupid old man who deserved it for believing in her. I told her I wanted my money back. She laughed again. Then she told me to leave. At that point, there was no romantic ending, no dramatic apology, no sudden confession of love. There was just a hard, ugly truth. I had been used, and I had no legal way to recover what I'd lost. The worst part was knowing I wasn't the only one. Somewhere out there were other men still believing they were the special one, still sending monthly money, still waiting for a woman who was probably repeating the same script right now. I left Pattaya soon after that. Not because I wanted to, because I no longer recognized the life I was living there. I went back to Canada with my tail between my legs and a heavy lesson in my chest. I had lost money, yes, but more than that, I had lost the illusion that someone cared for me the way I cared for them. And that kind of loss is hard to explain to anyone who hasn't lived it. What I learned is this: if someone always has a reason they can't support themselves, but somehow always has time to keep you emotionally hooked, You need to pay attention. If the relationship only exists when you send money, it's not a relationship. And if you're lonely enough, you can mistake attention for love very easily. I wasn't stupid, I was vulnerable. And that is exactly why she picked me. So that was Rick from Canada, a widower who came to Pattaya looking for connection and ended up funding a woman who was doing the same thing to 4 other men. What do you think? Was this a straight-up scam from day one, or do you think these things can start as something more complicated and then turn into exploitation? If you've seen similar situations in Thailand, or if you've lived through something like this yourself, share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help someone else avoid the same mistake. If you found Rick's story useful, please give the video a like, subscribe to Tales of Thailand for more real subscriber stories, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.